Hey there guys, NibletK here still. Welcome to another part of the Rastakhan Rumbles Hearthstone card review, whatever. This is part 4. We're going to jump straight into it. And we're going to start off with Daring Fire Eater. This is a 1-mana 1/1. Good, it's good. It is a mage minion. Battlecry, your next hero power this turn deals 2 more damage. Really good card, really good synergy. If you've seen the last video, you're gonna see that, you know, the spirit of the Dragon Hawk or whatever it's called, plus the legendary Loa for mage, all synergize around damage dealt with your hero power, so you can summon Ragnaros the Fire Lord. So this card actually helps out that far easier, to achieve. So this card, even in, besides all that other jazz, is a really good card because effectively, for 3 mana you can deal 3 damage in 1 turn. And that sometimes is really good because we already saw 2 mana and 3 mana spells that deal 3 damage are sometimes really good. Allowing you to take a specific trait or get rid of a minion or just a little bit more oomph, for finishing off a game. And having the ability for that, it's just 1 mana for +2 more damage, so that's really good. And plus it leaves a body on the board for, when you really want to go aggressive in the early stages of the game. It allows you to take a trade up, tempo and all that. So I believe Daring Fire Eater is a really good card, and it definitely is going to impact the game in some way, shape, or form. Next we have Shriek, a 1 mana spell for warlocks, and it says discard your lowest cost card, deal 2 damage to all minions. Now, this helps in a specific way, this card mechanic, which it should have been like that from the get-go. Most people are saying that this card should have not been random. It should have had some things like this, like discard specific X or YZ card, leftmost, rightmost, middle, cost, whatever it is. It has to have a specific discard mechanic so that it makes it more interesting and more intricate rather than just random BS, right? Other than that, this is an AoE effect for 1 mana that deals 2 to the entire board, and that is really powerful on its own. So I believe this card is definitely going to see a lot of play. Don't know exactly how good it's going to be in a specific discard lock, but if there's going to be a discard lock that works, this card is definitely going to be in it, because usually if you're going to play discard mechanics, you're probably going to want to sacrifice your tempo in the early stages of the game and try to be more on the control side. And this is going to allow you to control really aggressive style decks and keep them in check until the late game, where pretty much you're going to be king. That's the gist of it, right? So it's definitely going to be a good card to have. Okay, next we have High Priestess Jacqueline. This is the legendary minion for warlock. It is a 4 mana 3/4, so not the best of stats. Decent, but not the best. It has taunt and lifesteal, so that's already something that it has going for you, because 1, it'll heal you up a little bit, and plus it has taunt, so your opponent has to deal with it. However, it says when you discard this, add 2 copies of it to your hand. Now this is where things become really interesting. We already saw that allowing you to discard specific cards in your hand, with the new discard mechanics. So if this is your lowest, what was that? Lowest cost card in your hand. So if you have only high cost cards and you actually deal 2 damage to the entire board, you play Shriek, this is your lowest cost, you discard this and you get 2 of them back. That means effectively you can play 1 and still have another one in your hand, hoping to discard it again and always get another copy of it. You can double up on a lot of taunt minions and lifesteal minions and stuff like that. So this card is really powerful, and it's really going to dictate how well this card Warlock is going to function. But things like this is definitely what Warlock needs in order to make this card actually work. So yeah, this is going to be a really good card. Even if you don't play like discard mechanics, a 4-mana 3/4 with taunt and lifesteal, it's pretty good to have. Plus you can keep it around until you actually play, even if you don't have like specific discard mechanics. You do have Doom Guards and stuff like that discard pretty much by that time. You're going to almost always like discard your entire hand, and having this in your hand and allowing you to get multiple resources of that. Imagine if you discard this once, you get 2 of them back, and then you draw maybe your second Doom Guard or your first Doom Guard, and you only have these 2 cards in hand and a Doom Guard. You play that, you get 4 cards back. And then you have 4 cards with taunt and lifesteal and all that delicious goodness. That's good. Now you're not always going to have that scenario, but that scenario alone is going to happen more often than not on the way aggressive Warlocks tend to play it out. So yeah, I think this card is good. Another minion for Warlock. Okay, 3 mana, 2/6 taunt, Reckless Dire Troll. Okay, and the 2/6 taunt is not bad. Having the 2 attack, they're all gonna die to Mossy Horror and all that, but it is at 3 mana, so it's a really early taunt that you can place down. It has decent health. It's going to be hard to get through. Also, Battlecry. Discard your lowest cost card. Yet again. So really specific discard mechanic. Really nice to see, being implemented into the game finally. So yeah, this is also a really good card. Don't know exactly how good it's going to be in a discard mechanic type focused deck. However, it's a really good statted minion for early pressure, so it might actually see some play even in just zoo type decks, because it's just a really early good high health minion that protects your other zoo type really aggression, tokeny flooding the board style. Because we already had like the 1/5 Tar Creeper that was really good. Granted, this thing discards something, but sometimes you want to discard specific things, and Warlock doesn't really care about discarding that much, because having the tap button there always allows you to be full on resources. Yet another Warlock card, a 6 mana 6/6 Soul Warden. Battlecry, add 3 random cards you discarded this game to your hand. Problem solved there. You don't really care what you discard, because you're gonna get it back. On turn 6, you're gonna get 3 cards back. That is powerful. That definitely is powerful, because it allows you to play your early game without having any remorse of whatever it is that you discarded, because you're going to get those resources back. Now, that means if you're really aggressive and you play this and you discarded like aggression style minions, you're gonna get a couple of minions that are cheap or cheaper, and on the following turn you can pretty much play maybe 3 to 4 cards and just dump them on the board. Then again, if you have specific things in your opening hand that you might not want to play or you cannot play, like for instance a Lich King or something like that, you just happen to draw it, right? And you play out your game and you discard maybe the Lich King in your early to mid game. You're gonna feel bad, right? Because you really wanted that. But now you don't really feel that bad because you know, okay, I just gotta get my Soul Warden, play my Soul Warden, on turn 6 or turn 7, and then I just get my Lich King back. And that is no problem, like no problem whatsoever. Also, you play your second one, you get another copy of that Lich King. So you effectively double up on your high cost minions, high impactful minions. So this card specifically is going to be played really well in thought out decks that specifically target maybe specific cards, allowing you to double up or triple up on certain things. Whew. This is going to be a good card. Next we have Smolder Thorn Lancer, a 3 mana 3/2, bad stats for a 3 cost card. It is a warrior card and says Battlecry, if you're holding a dragon, destroy a damaged enemy minion. Now, warrior tends to have ways to damage minions far more easily all across the board, utilizing whirlwinds and other mechanics like that. So it's pretty okay. Plus we see a lot of dragon love for warrior in this expansion. So it's effectively a what's that thing called? I keep wanting to say assassinate, but it's not. We got Shield Slam and the other card. I'm really bad at names. So it's effectively the 1 cost card, I believe. Okay, now I'm really confused. It was a 1 cost? Whatever. Don't listen to me right now. You guys know the game. You know exactly what I'm talking about. So we do have this specific effect tied into a spell that warrior possesses. But it's effectively, brought back to a body with a specific niche in that you require dragons in your deck. So you have to make your synergy based on dragons. So it is a little bit more complicated to pull off. However, it's still nice to have certain things like this for specific dragon decks. And warrior, like I said, is going to get a lot of dragon love in this expansion. That is really good. I believe this card is actually going to see some play because of the really high impactful effect that it has, and being able to have a lot of dragons. That dragons usually tend to be big, beefy, high impactful creatures inside of the game. So yeah, and it's nice to see that they're not going like with the whole aggression style, which they had in the past. And Dragon Warrior was really aggressive. Now it's being brought back down a little bit to being more, control-y. Is that? Yeah, it's being more control based right now. Next we have Raiding Party. This is a 3 mana cost spell for Rogue. Draw 2 pirates from your deck, combo, and a weapon. Now, some people are saying that this is a interesting card to have in Rogue because even if you don't play pirates specifically, you can treat it as a 3-mana combo card specifically to draw your weapon out of your deck. So we do already have minions that do that, and they do it well. It's interesting to see if those things, when a rotation hits and those minions are not available anymore, if this is going to be something that rogues might actually want to try out for that specific niche. Rogues in this expansions are getting more pirate love. Apparently that's the theme for rogue in this expansion specifically, as we already saw with the Spirit of the Shark and a couple of other pirates and cards. We don't know exactly how good that's going to be. Pirates usually tend to be more on the aggressive style. Rogue can be aggressive, yes, but it does it in another specific way. But still, drawing 3 cards for 3 mana, if you pull it off, is really good. We already know that, Arcane Intellect is a 3 mana cost card that allows you to draw 2 random cards from your deck, and that's a really good source of card draw. Card draw in general is really good, although rogues already have specific card draw mechanics that allow them to get minions and weapons out of their deck. So I don't know exactly how good this is. If you're going to run with pirates, and pirates is going to be a really high impactful theme, and that is also going to be viable, then this card is definitely going to make the cut in that specific deck, because it's just logical that you are going to want to play pirates as fast as possible and have synergies, and this is just going to allow you to make that far less easier. So yeah, it all depends on pirates. It really all depends on the pirate synergies and the pirate deck, if it's going to be viable in the meta. That's really all what it's down to. It's a really good card in that specific niche. If not, it's going to be bad, and it's not even going to be played. Because if you're not going to play pirates or specific weapons that you really want, you're not going to play Raiding Party. Ooh. Next we have Grave Horror, a 12 mana, really high cost. 12 mana, 7/8. 7/8 taunt for priest. 7/8, really good. Okay. This is like giant stats. Okay, costs 1 last for each spell you've cast this game. Okay. I'm gonna say this. It seems as though Blizzard really, we had an expansion where we got weapons, legendary weapons. Woo! Do you guys remember that? You remember the legendary weapon for priests? No, you don't. Why is that? Because no one actually plays it. It's that bad. Now we are getting more tools to sustain that specific niche, which is spells, dragons, and big minions that get cheaper by playing spells, so you don't actually feel as bad for playing like you're spewing out your entire hand as fast as possible and not accomplishing anything in the late game, because you tended to run out of oomph at a specific point, and there was like nothing more that you could do. And that is why that card is also never played. But yeah, on the other side, let's really focus on this card. Now, in order to make this card like good, viable, let's say you need to halfen its cost to make it at least a 6 mana 7/8 with taunt. Even a 7 mana 7/8 with taunt would like be okay. It's okay. It has taunt and +1 health to its cost, so that's already viable. At 6 mana, I would say it's really good. So that means you have to play 6 spells up until playing Grave Horror. And that is doable. That is doable in Priest because they have the opportunity to, double up on specific spells. They have cheap spells that they utilize and cycle in the early game. They have removal, they have AoE effects and stuff like that. So those are things that generally are in Priest decks already. And, getting a 6 mana 7/8 taunt might actually be justified for that. So this card is in general good. It is a good Priest card to have. Like I said, it might actually incentivize to try out Priest weapon again. Maybe that's going to be something that is going to pop up yet once more. At least it's going to be tried out by specific players in general. And if anyone stumbles on something extraordinary, it's pretty much going to be like the talk of everything from Reddit, Twitter, YouTube, and all that jazz, because we want to see that thing work. Okay, cool. But yeah, it's a good card. It's a decent card. When you play more than that and you actually get it down to a 2 or 3 cost card, that is already insane. Okay, just saying. Next we have the Untamed Beastmaster, a neutral card. Interesting. It's a 3 mana 3/4, so stats are already good. Whenever you draw a beast, give it +2/+2. So this thing has to be in play. And after that, whenever you draw a beast, you buff that card up in your hand. So that is a powerful effect if you're running a lot of beast cards. Now, if you're not running that many, it's still a decent minion. A 3 mana 3/4 is something that you might want to play. So if you have this, a couple of beasts in there, like Nightmare Amalgam is also going to get buffed up by this, making it a 3 mana 5/6, I believe. And that is already a decent card to have. Plus it synergizes with some other things that you might have in your deck. Specifically Murlocs, dragons, mechs, whatever it is, right? That is really versatile card. And like I said, a 3 mana 3/4 is a really good card for its stats alone. Even if it doesn't do anything specifically, it's a really good card. Like I said, beast synergy, anything that runs a lot of beasts is going to try this card out, and it's definitely something that you want to take out really fast out of the game, because this thing is just going to buff a lot of things each turn. Even if you don't have like card draw for the upcoming turn, allowing you to draw multiple cards, even that one card that actually you get to draw and gets buffed, that is already good, because essentially this is a 3 mana 3/4, give a random beast minion that you own +2/+2. That's already good. That is really good. So I'm seeing hunters being in love with the Beastmaster. That's going to be something sick. And also, a lot of people said that this thing is going to be sick if you actually play Quest Hunter and you actually get to pull that off, getting all those Carnasses out, making them 1 mana 5/4s. That is insane. That is probably not going to happen that often, but pretty sure some idiot was going to do that on, at least for a video on YouTube or something. And it's going to be, something to laugh about. Yeah, but leaving the memes aside, I think this is a good card. This is definitely going to be a high impact card in specific beast synergy type decks, and it's definitely going to be one of those things that the more you're going to ignore it and leave it on the board, the more you're going to regret that decision is going to make you feel bad after that. Okay, last card for this part of the review is Spirit of the Tiger. This is the spirit card for Paladins. It's a 4-mana 0/3 stealth for 1 turn, as all spirits are. After you cast a spell, summon a tiger with stats equal to its cost. Interesting thing. Now, Paladin has decent buff cards, decent, range of mana for spells. So that can be anything from 1 to 8, I believe, is like the most we have now. 8 or 9? 9 cost. I kind of forgot. We used to have a 10 cost, but that is only in Wild now. But hey, you might run this in Wild and get a 10/10 Tiger aside with a bunch of Murlocs. But let's come back to our standard mode. Now, this card almost always guarantees that it survives 1 turn, and on the upcoming turn you can do something, right? So 4 to 5 mana, let's say even 6, because you might be on turn 5, right? Because you play this on turn 4, you might still have the coin. We have Spike Ridge Steed on turn 6, so to say. So you utilize your coin. You can actually buff up the tiger, making it a 3/9, I believe. I forgot. The Spike Ridge Steed is +2/+6, I believe. So you make it a 2/9, right? With Deferral, summon another 2/6. Plus you get a 6/6 tiger on the board. Now that's already really good. Really good turn. Plus, if this thing still survives and is in the game, you can double up on anything else. Also, you got a bunch of secrets. Secrets are not that impactful, and you say it's only a 1 cost card, and you're going to summon a bunch of 1/1s. Yes, but a bunch of 1/1s in Paladin are really impactful, because Paladin already can and utilizes a lot of token and aggression style archetypes, and this might also be really impactful in that way. Plus utilizing your secrets, and also, like I said, Paladin also has other cards like Blessing of Kings, Consecrate, Hammer of Wrath. Yes, I'm going there. Getting a 4/4 or anything like that, 4/4, 5/5, 6/6, 8/8, those are going to be impactful things, because you already want to use that spell specifically, and this helps you get another body of that same cost, same attack, same health, value onto the board. That's just a huge plus, even if it's just a 1/1. If you play the secret, right, you already have the benefit of that secret, plus you get another 1/1 on the board. And a 1/1, sure, it's not much, but sometimes it's a lot. It can impact the game tenfold, okay? So I think this is a good card. That's why it's also placed so high up on the mana curve, so you don't get to do like all the degenerate stuff so easily, because you can tell this can have like, this is going to ruin some games for some opponents. Oh, hell yeah. Cool. That was it for part 4, I believe, of this review. Check back into the next video where we go on with this review. Yeah, cool.